Hey guys, it's Jonathan over at American Off-Road Customs. Just wanted to walk through the finished product with our 2000 Ford Excursion build. Took quite a long time to kind of get this thing all together due to all the puzzle pieces and some of the obstacles we had to overcome to get this completed. But when this came to us, it was completely stock. The owner bought this original back in 2001 and has put all the miles on it himself. So we did everything from full suspension, gears, we got a new motor in here, repainted the whole truck, interior work. So we kind of gave it a whole refresh with some upgrades. So I'm going to walk you through kind of all the things we did. So we'll talk about the front end here first, since we're starting over here. So if you're not familiar, Ford Excursions come with leaf springs front and rear. And so it makes for a really rough ride on the front of these. So what we did is we put a Super Duty 60 front axle in here, which was designed for the later model trucks that had coil springs. And then we convert the frame to accommodate a coil bucket and take a bigger shock on there. And then we use a radius arm kit to give the axle support since there's no more leaf springs holding it in place. So you can kind of see some of that stuff over here. So we added the beefed up track bar bracket here. All this coil bucket and shock mount stuff is all stuff that we did. These are parts from Skies Off-Road, so that accommodates this giant coil spring. We got the Icon big reservoir shock with their lift spring in here. And then you can look down in here, you can see the radius arm kit that we fabricated using a Barnes custom radius arm kit. So we weld that all onto the frame, and that's what holds the axle in place. And then we wanted this thing to be able to fit 40-inch tires, which is one of the reasons why it's so tall. So we've got Mickey Thompson 40-inch by 14.5-inch tires on this with a 20-inch wheel. These are, I believe, Black Rhino wheels, if I'm not mistaken. And then we rebuilt the whole front axle on this. It's got Yukon gears in it. We did 513s. We've got the worn locking hubs on here since this isn't equipped to be able to do the automatic hub lock. So he can do that still manually and still gets the benefits of it being free spinning when he's not in four-wheel drive. On the front of the truck, we put a Road Armor heavy-duty front bumper on here with this big bull bar setup. It accommodates a large winch. So we put a worn VR 12K winch in here with a synthetic rope. So if he does find himself in a situation where he needs a little tug to get out, he's got that there for him to use. It comes with the pockets, so we put some LED lights in here to give him a little supplemental lighting for when he is, out in the woods and stuff on a back road. Got LED upgraded headlights in here with the projector lens, so he'll have good everyday use for headlight functions. Under the hood, this, like I said, he's done all the miles on this, and he wanted to kind of refresh this, so we put a Jasper remanufactured motor in here to replace the worn out one. There wasn't really anything wrong with it, but just wanted something fresh and new in there to make sure it was reliable and strong. And this is not a diesel truck, this is the gasser, so this has got the V10 in there, so that's been refreshed. And we upgraded the powertrain on this with a full Banks power package, which includes an air intake, their programming chip to get a little more horsepower out of the engine, and their full exhaust system. We also coupled that with their transmission tuner chip to help make sure the transmission is shifting, a little bit better and more. It has stronger shift points as far as when it's driving down the road. Also, we put the Mishimoto heavy-duty transmission cooler in here, which is really designed for the diesels, but because the front end is the same, it can still work on the gas engine, and that'll make sure that transmission stays cool, when he's driving up mountain grades with this big heavy truck, and he can still tow with it on top of that and still be able to keep that transmission temp down. So if you go around this way, we'll kind of peek on the inside because we did some refresh to the interior as well. We reupholstered all the seats because this, being that this truck is pretty old, a lot of the leather was worn out and no good, so we had holes in it. So we reupholstered the front seats, middle bench, and the rear bench in there. So that's all looking new. You can also take a look at the switch pod that we have in there to control the lights, and he's got expandability to be able to add more in the future if he decides he wants to add any additional features. We also upgraded the radio in the center dash there that will accommodate a rear view camera, which is on the back, and I'll show you that when we get back there. So that's some of the stuff we did on the interior. If you look up, you can see a custom fabricated roof rack that we put on this so that he can throw all his gear in there. Still has room for the family on the inside. We put some lights on that as well, so when he's at his campsite, he can light up all of his camping area, and that's all controlled from the switch panel on the inside as well. And to get up there with this thing being so tall, we had to make sure we had some ladders to be able to climb up there. And that thing's pretty heavy duty, so you can stand up there. You know, so if you go to like a NASCAR race, you want to watch the race, you can be up there watching the cars go around and all that stuff too. So pretty cool little setup. On the back, with the road armor kind of matching rear bumper with tire carrier, able to carry a full-size spare back here. You know, so that way, in the off chance he does, you know, find himself with a flat, he can put the spare on there and keep on going on his trip without, you know, having to go to a tire shop or something like that. Down here, we've got supplemental lights for the rear bumper, so that way, when he is backing up, he can make sure he can see everything behind him real well. And then his rear view camera is mounted right there, so he'll be able to see even with this big tire when he's backing up through the screen on the dash up front there. So it's all in all, this thing's pretty well overhauled top to bottom. We're pretty proud of this one as far as being able to take something completely stock and go, you know, start to finish. And I don't think we're done yet. I think he's going to come back. We're going to add some more stuff in the future. So when that happens, we'll be sure to tell you about that when the time comes. So make sure if you like what you see here, you can follow us on all our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, all that stuff. You want to stay up to date with the latest stuff that we're doing here at American Off-Road.